Welcome to the podcast From Stress to Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Lolita Gurin, and today's episode 146. And we're wrapping up the Ask a Question Q&A week that has to do with work-life balance. Okay, so today's the last question, the last answer, obviously is very important as well. I think we had a great week of all of those questions. And mind you, if I did not answer any of your questions or the questions that you want me to answer, or you have more questions, leave me a comment below, send me a message. I'll be happy to answer next week in the next episode. So I've been asked, how is that you can manage your work-life balance when we are constantly connected? You know what I mean? When, well, you left work, today is Friday, 5 p.m., and you've gone home, but then you get this notification on your phone that you got an email from your work email. And you know how we immediately want to check it to see what it is. And then you kind of end up answering the email because, well, you were not really planning on doing that, but it's such a simple answer. Somebody's asking you to do something, or somebody's asking you a question. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to answer them really quick. And then you do it. Yeah. And that's how it starts. As soon you start showing your coworkers, employees, anyone else that should not be on your weekend schedule, as soon you respond to them and you show that you can take any question, you're always accessible, you're always there for them, you start training them that you always will be like that. And there's nothing worse when you are on vacation. I don't know, you're in the Himalayas, and you are just misanswering few emails. You go back to work, and they like, we will keep on messaging you. Where were you? Because they expect this. So my advice is this: when you start a workplace somewhere new, you immediately start with boundaries. And what are those boundaries are? Number one, you are not in contact on weekend. You are not in contact on holidays. This is your time. Of course, if you are the owner of the company, you have skin in the game. Probably, well, you should, although I do not recommend. Usually those companies are not run by one person. There's somebody you can delegate things to do while you're gone. So you do take that time for yourself. So it's very doable. And I'll let you know. I'll let you know. They will let you know when something horrific happened. Okay. They will let you know. But overall, when you on a weekend, you do not respond to any emails. You do not respond to phone calls, and you do not make them believe and expect you to do that in the future. I also recommend you to have the same thing when you're having a lunch. Nothing will happen if you do not respond to this message or you pick up the phone for 1 hour, unless you're a surgeon. But how many of us are listening to this video that really, really cannot not pick up? We all can have a boundary and say, no, I'm having lunch right now. I am not going to pick up the phone. I'm not going to check my email. I'm not going to pay attention to those notifications. Actually, better yet, you know what? When you eat, you put the phone away, especially when you're eating with somebody else, because you need to pay attention what they have to say. That's the number one priority for you right now. This moment is to pay attention to your conversations and your communication with other person. It's just plainly rude if you continue answering your messages while you're talking with somebody else. That's just, I don't know, just I think. What do you think? Are you agreeing with me or disagree with me? Leave me a comment below. So yeah, set expectations and put your phone on silent. Turn off notifications. And you may want to have those notifications while you work, but then turn it off on the weekend. Don't drag the equipment from your work to your weekend because you will feel guilty that you're not addressing the issues. You know, you have a laptop that always you do work, leave it somewhere that you cannot even reach out. So you do not give in that temptation of actually going and do more work when probably nobody's even paying you for that. So have those boundaries with yourself and with the technology. And if you have a problem of actually setting those boundaries and telling your coworkers and your employees that, look, my lunch, you do not bother me. Weekend, you do not bother me. And even those I have clients who I recommend them to set work hours when they are approachable. So let's say you decided from 10 to noon, your 2 hours, when you are able to talk on the phone, you're answering your emails, you're checking your messages, and anybody can walk in and ask you a question. At the time, you have for different tasks. That's how you can stay productive when you are focused, not in like things are happening all over the world. Because if you are, let's say, working on a project and you need to write a report and you're very concentrated, and somebody walks into your office and they ask you a question and they say, hey, I just check in to see how was the weekend? How's it going? Remember that show? They just interrupted your train of thought. And for you to go back to what you were doing, it can take up to like 10 to 15 minutes for you to go back to the same level of focus. But if you have your door closed in your office, or if you don't have an office, you just can tell other people that this is the time when I work in the mornings. We can chat afternoon. How about that? When you set expectations for people, then you don't look rude. Tell them what they can expect from you, and they will respect that. And those boundaries that you need to enforce it. The boundaries with yourself as well. When you come to conclusion, what schedule really works for you to keep you more energized and less stressed out, more balanced, more productive. And if you have difficulty of setting boundaries with yourself and others, then I will highly recommend getting you a coach where we can talk about your goals, set new boundaries, set new habits, and then be accountable, because that's only one way how you will actually change the life that you live, only by actually taking action. So how much action are you taking now? And are you happy where you are right now? Are you happy where you were a year ago? If you will continue doing what you're doing right now, where are you going to be in 5 years? Do you like yourself? Where are you going to be in 5 years? That's a question for you. And if you think that, well, there are some things that you would like to change and build new habits, I am here to help you. So you go on my website, beamazingyou.com, and then book a session. Of course, all of those links are in the description below. And if you like what I say in the video, give me a thumbs up. If you are subscribed already to my channel, thank you so much. And if you're listening to my videos but not subscribing, just subscribe. It helps me to reach more people and help them with the managing stress and improving their lives. So then we, when we help ourselves, then we can help others. And I think that's the ultimate way to change the world. And next week, we'll start with something else, but definitely will be, again, about stress management.